All right, you've seen the product. Now it's time to take action. It's all about that miracle food. My man Chakra Doctor has put some of the greatest superfoods on the planet here in one bottle for you. I know we see COVID going crazy and a lot of different things, testing our immune system. This right here is a perfect cleanse and reboot. Great for the immune system and a great anti-inflammatory. Miracle food. Tell them Viral Hip Hop News sent you. Let's go.
I was not even going to these states. I've never even been to these states before. So they all lied, man. So the judge said to the DA, "Where are the drugs? We have no drugs." He said, "Where's the money? We have no money." He said, "So you mean it?" So he slammed the gavel like you would think it broke, almost shattered across his desk. He said, "For impeachment purposes, everything y'all said to bring this man in my courtroom, you better come back in with the same information. Why is this man here?" I can hear him asking him that. So then they lied and said I was giving confidential law enforcement information, FCIC, NCIC. The communication operator, Captain Munez, who worked for the department for 25 years, she said, "Mr. Hicks never ran this information." And she went on to tell how you run FCIC, NCIC, which is through your security, social security number. So during that time, she said, "Mr. Hicks has not ran this information." Then they lied and said I was on audio tape. Well, let me inform you, brothers, when they played the tape for the jury and the judge, they found out that it wasn't me, but it was the same deputy who arrested me at my home, man.
Man. So they find this out, you get free or released after a year and a half of hell. Did anything happen to the people involved in setting you up?
Yeah, they was promoted. Every last one of them promoted to a higher rank.
Damn. So all right, you goddamn. So like you get out, your story's out there, you're free. Nothing happens to the police force at all. Nobody on your side can say, "Hey, no, we got to take these people down." Like that blue code runs that deep to where you got police officers and sheriffs that are literally seemingly untouchable out here, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Because, and not only that, so when I come home, they start harassing me, my wife, my kids, man, pulling them over. One night, one of the deputies pulled my wife over, telling her about the tent too dark on a vehicle. They pulled me over, saying that, the tent was too dark and all these, just really just trying to push me. So my sergeant, his name is James Booker. He said, "Man, listen, Hicks, man, you know that these people know you got a temper, man. Don't let these people beat you for your cool, man. Just stay cool. Everything is going to work out for you." I love this brother, man. Him and his wife, I love him like no tomorrow, man. He saw what was going on, and he definitely said something about it, And of course, man, he was there, just to say, "Hey, man, listen, just let it go, Hicks, man. Just calm down." I'm not the kind of person that you can put your hands on, man, and think that it's okay. No, it's not okay. The way I was raised is if you put your hands on me, man, I'm trying to bust your head wide open, man. You know what I mean? So I come home and these people, it's continuing. Just to show you, brothers, man, how the harassment continue. So on January 6th of 2004, another 60 cops stormed my home at gunpoint. Said I was shooting at someone in my backyard. At the time of the alleged shooting, my wife and I, we're in court. So when they get there, I said, "What is this about?" I said, "This has to be a repercussion of the lawsuit that I filed against you guys for malicious prosecution, false arrest, imprisonment, a violation of my Constitution, civil rights, supervision, retention, destruction of evidence." I said, "This must be a repercussion of me speaking out in my civil case that I have against the department." So there's one black dude, man. I don't know him. He just got on the force, and all the other guys was white that was there, and he wanted to show out, telling me, "Man, put your effing hand behind your back, man. I mace you." I said, "I eat freaking mace." So this white dude named Dave Robshaw told me, he said, "Man, you know what that is?" He said, "Man, that's Hicks, man. He was one of our top deputies, man." And this black dude, I would give him freaking weed. He gonna put it. I said, "Man, if you put your hands on me, man, one of us gonna leave here right now." So my neighbor who worked for the sheriff department, her name is Lisa Jackson, she came over to the house because she saw the commotion going on. And she was there, you know, she was like, hey, Hicks, just calm down. I said, man, these freaking people telling me that I'm shooting at somebody. I had a freaking my shooting at somebody. My wife and I just come out of court. There was a sergeant named Bernard McCorms who was in the elevator at the courthouse with me, and my wife got on the elevator. And he said, no, man. And he lived down the street from me. So he came down. He said, no, man, these people tripping, man. So there I was handcuffed in my backyard for 6 hours. So a white guy shows up in the yard, which was probably a lieutenant or a captain. So I tell my wife to go present the documents to them showing that we was in court. And when my wife presented the documents to them, within seconds, they dissipated. All of them was gone. They didn't even arrest me that day. But later, they sent me a charge through the mail saying that I discharged a firearm. So I take that case to trial. So the judge said, well, where's the victim? Mr. Hicks was shooting at. We don't have a victim. He said, did you do a ballistic test? No. He said, where the bullet casing? We don't have it. He said, so why would you bring a highly decorated officer in my courtroom, one of your own, saying that he committed this heinous crime and you have nothing? So, of course, the judge said, well, we're going to trial within the next 10 minutes. And the state asked for a continuance. He says continuance is denied. And within 10 minutes, I was tried by the courts and I was acquitted by the judge.
Wouldn't you want people, especially black men, what would be advice on how to engage with police officers?
One of the things, you know, is this, man. Anytime you get stopped by a law enforcement official, first of all, you know, their job is to ID that vehicle by putting their hands on the trunk of the car, and presenting themselves in a professional manner. But I would tell any black person, man, if you engage cops, you know, now that you have a cell phone, some type of recording device, you know, if the situation start intensifying, just start recording, even if you record the voice, you know, because law enforcement, you know, people should not be afraid of law enforcement officers, man. Our job is to set the tone and the precedent for the people. It's not for them to be afraid of us. We're supposed to serve and protect. You know, if you're working in the jail, you're supposed to look out for these people, man, not beat them just because you feel like you can. If you're out on the streets, not just arrest these individuals just because you feel like you can take a person from liberty. This is not law enforcement, you know. So to be honest with you, I just think it's unfortunate, man, that, you know, people think the way that they think about law enforcement officials because, you know, there's a lot of great men and women, man, that put on that uniform, man. And but it's something that needs to be done. You know, I don't care if it's me. If I go out there and I go get the SOP, the standard operation procedure, the SOP and the PMP, the policy and procedure manual, then I got to be disciplined for what I've done. And a lot of these people are not being disciplined, man. That's why they're able to go on and do the things that they're doing, because it's like a slap on the wrist. How is it that these people can arrest me 3 times? And I've been cleared all 3 times. And just to go back a second, after the second arrest, I go back, just to show you, I begin to pray and fast as I do every day now. And I built a relationship with the Lord that's so phenomenal, that keeps me humble. And I went back into my community and I won the highest award in the community. I won the African American Achievers Award. I have 25 kids accomplish their high school diploma and GED. My mother at the age of 55 and my brother at the age of 32. And lo and behold, they came to my house a 3rd time. And this time my 4-year-old son was there. My daughter was 18, stormed my home, dragged me out, handcuffed and shackled. And I'm saying, what is this for? So then they said, oh, Ray, we can't discuss it. Every time they come to my house, they can't discuss it. So I arrived to booking, and there was a gentleman who I helped inspire. His name is Richard Lee. He's retired now. And I helped him get on with the sheriff department. So he heard it come over the air. They called and said that I was violent. But there was a black gentleman and a sergeant who got into a verbal confrontation that almost led to a physical altercation because they were trying to put my hands behind my back. I'm 200 almost 90 pounds, man. So I couldn't get my hands behind my back. And the sergeant was like, put the effing cuffs on him like I told you to, the white sergeant. So the black deputy said, no, man, he's going to need a double set of cuffs. So they started arguing. I said, listen, Crump, I said, you ain't got to argue with these people, man. I managed to get my hand behind my back because, again, I done built a relationship with the Lord, man. You know, and I see what the enemy trying to do to me, you know, trying to push me because of their wrongdoing to get me to do something so they can probably try and take my life from me. So, of course, I get down there to book, and they got 20 deputies, man, waiting on me in the sally port with black gloves on. And I'm not even exaggerating. So Richard Lee stayed there, Deputy Lee stayed there to book me in because he felt like he could calm me down because everybody knew I had a temper back then, man, you know. And, of course, I get there, I'm talking to one of the young ladies who I went to the Crossover Academy with. And we talking about our families and whatnot. And so I said, Lee, what did they arrest me for? He said, Ray, he said, man, they arrest you for child abuse. I said, child abuse? I said, man, I ain't never put my hands on my own kids and I ain't never touched nobody's child. The person who I was told who orchestrated this was going back to Ricky Clark. So anyway, Lee said to me, he says, what's strange about this? He said on the PC, the probable cause affidavit, there's no victim. So he said he brought it to the sergeant's attention, like, where is the, he said, but Sarge, there's no victim on here. So how could it be child abuse? So anyway, the prosecutor, she did a thorough investigation. She found out that I never touched nobody's child. They lied when I worked in boot camp. They said I powdered a female cadet, when in fact I never touched a female cadet. It was another female who, the Major Smith, who powdered that female, but they tried to lie and said it was me. So the prosecutor threw the case out, no pros. You know, we lost everything. I lost my home, cars, finances, couldn't feed my family, man. I applied for food stamps, unemployment. I was scraping up every nickel, dime, and quarter penny, man, just to put food on the table, you know. And then eventually I got a job working as a laborer, making $9 an hour, putting out sewer ladders and water services. And it's what the gentleman I was telling you all about earlier, his name is Gaston Akins, who gave me a job as a construction worker. And it's the same brother that I helped change his life around, you know, when he went to prison 3 times, man.
Incredible story. You're a pillar in your community. You're a leader. You've been through what you've been through. People see that. And you still seem prideful in law enforcement. Like you still seem like you have honor in the badge that you carried and how you walked it during your time. I'm curious to know what's your perception and what's your family's perception of law enforcement and the legal system now? Take your time, brother.
They can't stand them.
Yeah.
You know, they hate law enforcement with a passion. And I always tell them, I said, you guys are wrong, man. You can't think like that.
Now, take your time as well too. No rush. Is there any pending? I'm sure you have a pending lawsuit. Are you suing them for pain and suffering too? Because you're obviously, you know, shaken up and emotionally distraught by what they done to you.
We got nothing. I filed the lawsuit, man. Come to find out, the lawyer who was representing me, he was in bed with them, man. And I didn't know no better back then. On October 6th of 03, we went to arbitration, and they were supposed to give me my job back once they found out that I never committed any crimes. They never gave me my job back. They continued with the harassment. And, of course, they gave me my back pay. When I went before the arbitrator, I took 2 articles. One was titled Ex-Deputy Fight for Reinstatement, and the other one was Missing Documents Turn Up a Deputy Lawsuit. I put those articles in front of the arbitrator, and when the counsel for the sheriff saw these, that the arbitrator was looking at the articles, she called her name was Carmen Rodriguez. She called my attorney outside, and he come back in within a few minutes and said, Ray, this arbitration is over. I said, what do you mean? He said, they're giving you what you asked for. So they gave me $100,000. He took 40% when he was saying he was going to take 33 and a third. And of course, you know, I was under duress, man. You know, my family was suffering. I'm talking about tremendously. You know, and I was doing everything I could to try and help get my family back on our feet. You know, but we lost. I mean, we lost everything. I mean, we became totally indigent and destitute. So I took the money, and we filed for malicious prosecution, false arrest, imprisonment, a violation of my Constitution, civil rights, supervision, retention, destruction of evidence. And of course, the first judge who was involved in the case, just to show you, man, these people's out of control. He was directly involved in my criminal case. So I asked my attorney, I said, well, wait a minute, man. How could he be involved in a criminal case where he signed off on a pen register and he's over my civil case? You know, I said, no, that can't happen. So an attorney called him and said, hey, no, he can't do that, man. This, you know, he has to recuse himself from this case. So, of course, he recused himself, and then they gave me another judge. And when they gave me this judge, he said there was a Supreme Court order allowing him to try the case. But prior to us going to a trial, we had to go to mediation. So they asked me how much was I seeking. I told them 2.69. So they said, no, we'll give you 100,000. I said, you didn't give me no 100,000. I said, you keep it, you know? And of course, we go to, I told my attorney, I said, listen, I'm not going to sit here and entertain this nonsense, man. Let's get up and get out of here. I'm ready to go, man. So of course, he's like, well, I said, no, listen, man, I'm not going to wait and listen and entertain this, you know, entertain this nonsense, man. I mean, we get up and go, man. So finally, we go to trial, and this judge said there was a Supreme Court order allowing him to try the case. So when trial commenced, you know, they tried to pick an all-white jury. At this point, I didn't care, you know, because we are innocent, you know. And when the jurors began to listen to the testimony, my brothers, they were all in tears, man. They could not believe what they was hearing. And of course, my attorney gave closing arguments. It was on a Friday afternoon. He asked for 2.69. You can see the jurors shaking their head like that's not enough money for what this family had gone through, man. Because they put my oldest daughter on the stand, my wife, my sergeant, some of the people from the community that knew me. And they were just alarmed in reference to what they were hearing. So, of course, the counsel for the sheriff, Mike Piper, you know, he basically says, oh, Your Honor, we're asking for a recess. So the judge said, we're going to grant the recess and we will convene on Monday morning. Well, we come back that Monday morning, and the judge said over the course of the weekend, he received a certified package from the defense counsel via FedEx, for BSO lawyer via FedEx to his home. So I'm looking at my attorney like, what? So the judge said, before I bring the jury out, let's just go on record. So of course, the judge said that over the course of the weekend, I received a certified package from the defense counsel via FedEx, and I'm prepared to rule in this case. So I'm looking at my attorney saying, what did the judge talk about? This is a jury trial. Ray, just listen to what he has to say. He gave a directed verdict and kicked me and my family out of court, man. Mm. So we didn't get one red cent for everything I just mentioned to you, brothers, except for my back pay in 2003.
Man. Good, man. This is Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all who are going to check out this documentary. Shout out to my man Lonnie Fresh. Do me a favor, go to YouTube right now. Go subscribe to Viral Hip Hop News, one of the best hip hop platforms out here right now. We also have The Hub, Hip Hop News Uncensored, of course, the podcast, the baddest podcast out, the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We drop 7 days a week, doing this thing 100% independent.
There was not one day that I was at work on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I wished I was somewhere else.
Now let's talk about the Players Club, because you, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like your first major role in a movie, right?
Taking over the game. Really appreciate each and every one of y'all.
y'all. You can grab merch on the YouTube site. You can talk to me on there and much more. Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News. Appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Oh God, you the man, Cass. I spit white like a clan mask. And